So welcome to Social Media Intervention. Do you remember the last time that social media made you feel like you were going to put your fist through the screen and throw your laptop through the window? Tracy and I were talking earlier about how she's saying, "What do you mean?" She feels like that constantly with all of the changes, and I was like, "Okay, fine. You're right. I feel that way
I don't usually feel that way, but I definitely deal with people who are ready to throw their laptop out their window on a regular basis.
My favorite is when clients call and they say, "Help! I broke my social media profile." That's my favorite. What's yours, Tracy?
Or when they say, like, they're overwhelmed by social media. And all I could think is, it's not that hard, people. And we all have all this great content, and there's so many ways to do things. That's why we're staging this intervention to help you save time and show you how to increase your revenue using social media. Woo!
So Tracy, your video seems to have disappeared. Oh, you're back. Never mind. So I'll introduce myself, you introduce yourself, and then or how about no, you introduce yourself first, and then we'll continue.
So my name is Tracy Warren. My company is Ready, Set, Grow Marketing. And I call myself a social media superhero because I help uncover your business from the muck so that it can shine in more brilliance. And on Twitter, I am at Ready, Set, Grow.
We'll put that in the chat room, right, Tracy?
Good idea.
I am Melanie DePoli, brand catalyst at Omicle, and I help companies build brands worthy of going viral. My Twitter handle is at Mel DePoli, and I will also put that in the chat room so you have it. And we encourage you to use the hashtag SBImpact. It's in the title of the Google Plus Hangout, so it should be in the bottom right of your screen at all times. Let's see, I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, the element of social media and how to it. One thing you'll notice, for those of you who know Tracy and I, is we don't always agree.
What?
I know, it's hard to believe. We each take a different approach to social media, but that is to your benefit. You're going to hear how she approaches things with her clients as well as how I approach things with my clients. And the reason we do this is so you are able to hear different ways to accomplish the same goal.
And we know that, one size doesn't fit all.
Exactly.
So sometimes Mel's ideas will work great for specific businesses while they might not work for others, and I know the same is true for me.
And so, by the way, have fun with us disagreeing. We do encourage you to tweet using our hashtag and to ask questions along the way. This is not meant to be I guess a dialogue would work because it is you and I talking, but we want it to be a dialogue with the entire group. So feel free to ask questions. We'll read your questions and we will answer them as we go. In the next hour or so, we are going to share with you 5 secrets that businesses often either don't know about social media, or that if they do know, they don't understand how it applies to them.
And the truth is, they're not really top secret at all. All of this information can be found. It's just a matter of taking what you learn and putting it into practice. And so that's what we're trying to give you tonight, is we're going to give you some great information, some useful tips that you can put into practice right away on your social profiles.
I like actionable tips. How about you, Tracy?
I love actionable tips because then I feel like I know what to do. I mean, have you ever heard somebody speak before and you're like, all right, now what? Well, hopefully we'll give you some now whats.
Well, hopefully we won't even have to leave them wondering what that now what is. They'll just instantly have some takeaways that are like, I want to do this.
Right.
I want to do that. So social media is driven.
I am moving.
You're moving.
I'm moving.
We get a tour of Tracy's house.
A little bit.
Anyway, social media is driven by content, whether it be creating, sharing, engaging, liking, commenting. It's content, 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 content. And the number one secret is searching and listening on social media oftentimes will tell you more and help you get in front of your target market faster and quicker than creating and sharing content.
It's so interesting to me how often people look at social media as just a broadcast tool. And yet, using the search features that are available on every single platform and that ability to listen can help you create content. It can help you connect to people in completely different ways. And I can't find my notes is my challenge at this point. So I'm just, one of the things that I know about social media is that being authentic is important. So I am being really authentic right now, and I can't find my notes.
So what are your challenges in creating content or engaging online? Do you know how to search on the different platforms? Type in your questions and let us know, and we'll address them right then and there. I think there's an actual Q&A. Oh, I have it disabled.
The group chat is over here, and Matt can type in, we lost Mike. He said something about he had to go put on pants.
Okay, that's way too much information.
I'm just telling you, I'm passing this along.
Okay, so this is a great example of things that don't need to be on social media. When you're using social media for your business, keep it specific and relevant to your business. Now, where that may be of interest is if you have a fashion company. If you have a fashion company, you may need to explain how you're wearing different outfits for different events.
Wow.
So Tracy, what's an example of a time that you had to, you were looking for something but you couldn't find it, so you went to social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you did a search and you found information that you were looking for?
Oh, I use social media all the time to find information, especially Twitter. Twitter is the only live active search on the internet where you're going to get up-to-date information about what people are talking about right this second. And so if I use it a lot when it comes to news, but if I hear a news story or something about social media that sounds off, I will automatically go to Twitter and do a search to see if I can find more relevant information. So that's one way I use it. But also, if I'm just struggling to come up with content. So if I need to write a blog post and I'm just not really sure what people are talking about when it comes to social media right this second, I can do a really quick search on Twitter for social media and come up with some great ideas for content. Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's great. How have you helped your clients find content online?
Primarily the same thing. I am a huge proponent of Twitter and searching on Twitter, and so I talk about searching on Twitter a lot as a result because it is the only place I can find up-to-the-minute information about what people are talking about.
So, Tracy, we do have a question, and it is from Dorothy, and her demographic is reaching meeting planners who have the budget and interest in hiring me. What advice would you have for Tracy? Or for Dorothy. Sorry, I'm looking at your picture and talking about Dorothy.
Well, honestly, the truth is, I don't know where search fits into that, but as far as meeting planners are concerned, one of the great things is that a lot of people are using Twitter on a regular basis. And what's great is you can follow them on Twitter without their permission. So for me, it's about building relationships. So I'm going to be searching for those meeting planners and then engaging them in conversation. A lot of people will go to Twitter and they'll find somebody and then they'll go, oh, great, there they are, here, let me pitch to them. And that's really not, social media is like a crock pot, right?
Yes.
It takes time. But it doesn't take a ton of time to build relationships on social media.
We're going to get into the details of how to do searches online in a little bit, because there's specific ways to actually search that you find results quicker and more effectively. But for right now, know that it can be done and start thinking in terms of keywords. When you're putting together your website or you're putting together your marketing materials, you're taught to think in terms of keywords. What are your customers looking for? And when you start focusing on what those words are, honestly, grab a notebook and start making a list of what these words are. They may be relevant to you or they may not be. And we'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. So how about we move on to the second secret, Tracy?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, that's me. The second secret is, okay, ready? You don't have to be online all the time. I know that is a shocker, but that's how people think. They're like, well, I just don't have time to spend hours on social media. And if you're spending hours on social media, can I be brutally honest? You are doing it wrong. Social media doesn't have to take a ton of time. And the other thing I get when I'm out and about is people will say, gosh, Tracy, you're everywhere. And I say, that is an illusion.
So we, Tracy, when you master social media, you become a master of illusion. We're magicians.
We are magicians.
Yeah!
If there was a magic hat in the Google Hangouts, we could put it on our heads. But
I'll look for that.
It is really about, one of the things that's true is there are ways. Oh, it's a mentality thing for me. So as I'm going about my day, I get great content delivered straight to me all day in the form of overhearing conversations at Starbucks, or it's a billboard I see, or it's a commercial I hear on the radio. I'm in marketing, and so I hear this stuff, and it makes me think about content that I can share. And so I grab my phone, which is never very far away, and I will share. In addition, I take pictures all the time of things, and so it's so easy for me to use my phone and just really quick post something. So I have a friend who runs an organization, and she used to do this, and maybe some of you can relate to this. She would take pictures at her events, she would email them to herself, then she would download them to her computer, and then you know what? Nothing ever happened. So one day we met, and I showed her in about 3 minutes how you could take this magical little device, and you take a picture, you push 2 buttons, and you can share it. She could not believe it. Like, oh, it was that easy? Yes, it's that easy. And so part of it is just thinking in terms of what you can share. But in addition, if you are in a company or an organization, not feeling like it's all up to you. So one of the things that I do when I go into specifically organizations like associations is to try to convince them that while, yes, there is a social media person, it is not their sole responsibility for gathering content. Like if we all start thinking about, gosh, this article would be great to share on Facebook, it makes the organizational social media person's job so much easier.
The other thing to take into account with you don't have to be on social media all the time is there's tools that help you search what the trending topic is. And when you're searching for those trending topics, it allows you to engage in live conversation at that particular moment. So you don't have to worry about are you being relevant? Are you getting in front of your target market? Because you're participating in the active conversation. Anything you'd like to add to that, Tracy?
No, I don't have anything to add, but I am going to turn off the light.
Okay.
Because I was having this weird halo effect on my head.
Are you trying to convince yourself or convince me that you're an angel?
Oh, that's absolutely it.
Okay, let's move on to our third secret. And remember, as we go through this, feel free to be posting on the page or posting in the chat whatever your questions are related to the content that we are speaking, and we will answer them live. The third secret is communicate with people instead of talking at them.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's a revolutionary concept, is to communicate with people.
But I thought social media was a broadcast tool.
No, believe it or not, it's not. It's a way to communicate with people just the same thing as a telephone, as writing a letter, as writing an email, or even sitting at a coffee shop talking with somebody. Can you believe that, Tracy?
I know. It's shocking.
It's amazing.
This is one area where here's what happened. Social media marketing came into existence, and marketers everywhere went, yes, more places for me to broadcast. And it was those same marketers who 3, 4, 5 months later said social media doesn't work. And they're absolutely right. Social media doesn't work when you're just broadcasting.
Exactly. There's a common myth, if you will, a myth that actually becomes reality, which is social media is all about content. And so you have to put a lot of time and effort into content creation. Well, it's not just about content. If your sole focus is on creating content and broadcasting out, you're actually doing this to your followers. You're saying, I don't want to listen to you, I only want to talk at you. I'm demanding that you listen to me. We've all been caught by that slimy salesperson that just insists on making you feel miserable, telling you that you need all of these things that you know you really don't. Social media is about being social. It's about communicating with somebody, a group of people that you would communicate with if you were at a networking function. This brings up another point that Tracy and I were talking about earlier today, the whole element of like and retweet. Think of it this way. If you're sitting in a coffee shop having a business meeting and the person you're talking to is talking and explaining their business, are you sitting there going, like, retweet, retweet, retweet? That's not conversation. If somebody tells you something and you agree with it, you normally say something to the effect of, I completely agree with that, and blah, 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 blah. Or if you disagree, you would normally say something to the effect of, that's an interesting take. I didn't think of it this way. This is how I normally think of it. And social media gives you the opportunity to say that to the person and get a dialogue going. Social means more than one. Therefore, it means more than one person talking. It's about inviting that dialogue and engaging in that dialogue. The tone that you set with your business profile and your business engagement is the tone that your followers will respond with. If you're only talking at them, they're not going to respond at all. But if you're inviting dialogue and you're setting your conversation up for dialogue, they're going to respond in that way.
Well, and the other thing that I would just add here is you should make it as easy as possible for people to interact with you. So let me give you an example, my Mother's Day example that I always use from Amy Porterfield. I have to give credit. She was working with someone, and they had some business that worked around Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day, they asked the question, tell us your favorite story about your mom. Okay, so if I'm on Facebook and I'm scanning through my posts, I see, tell us your favorite story about your mom. I have to stop. Then I have to think, okay, what's my favorite story about my mom? Okay, then how do I put that into short form for Facebook? And I'm leaving because it's not easy, like to come up with a story. So change it around, and that's what happened. Nobody commented. Change it around to give us one word you would use to describe your mom. Ding! I immediately have an idea, and hundreds of people responded to that post. So think about how you use Facebook specifically, and do you have time to sit there and write out this big long post as a reply? Because chances are, if your users, if the people you are trying to engage with, if they're busy like we are, they probably aren't going to take the time to comment. And the same thing is true for the content you put out there. Statistics show that the best posts, most engaging posts on Facebook are under 100 characters. Now, do all of your posts need to be under 100 characters? No. But think about people scanning. You know, in the old days, like 5 years ago, we read every word that was delivered to us. But right now, content is coming to us so quickly, we really are just scanning. So make it easy for people to engage.
So Tracy brought up a great point as far as the etiquette of social media. Just like there's certain etiquette when you call somebody on the phone or you send them an email, the same etiquette applies on social media. Here's an example. If you're going to send somebody a text message, it wouldn't be proper to send them an equivalent of a 2-page Word document via text. The person would look at you like, oh, my mama, you have way too much time on your hands. Stop that. With text messaging, you want to keep it about 140 characters. Guess what? That's the same concept as Twitter. Think of Twitter as sending somebody a text. You tell them only the relevant information up front, and then you get a small dialogue going about a highly specific and highly targeted topic. Same thing with writing a letter. In today's era, when you write a letter, it's usually within a card and it's a paragraph or two. I know way back when there used to be multiple page letters, but most of us don't do that today. So with a letter, let's say you're filling out a card, you write a few sentences. That concept works on Facebook. Where that concept can also apply is through LinkedIn when done correctly. Writing a paragraph for the sake of writing a paragraph, there's no value to it. You put the most specific point across the top, should be the first line, and it should have the call to action in it. This way, anything beyond that is expanding upon your point, explaining it further. I see you commented, Tracy. Is there anything?
Oh, Matt and I are having a conversation without you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just keep talking and ignore you two.
Are we moving on to secret number 4?
I think we are.
unless Matt has another question. Okay, secret number 4 is, in order to get results, it's really helpful to build a tribe. You really need to build a tribe. I was at an event earlier today, and I asked the group, how many of them are a marketing department of 1? And almost everyone in the room raised their hands. Most of us are a marketing department of 1. And social media, when you build that connection that we were talking about, inviting communication, doing that helps you build a tribe. And then amazing things can happen, because then it's not just you sharing about your business, but when you post good content, the people who are your raving fans, they will share without you telling them to share.
What? You mean people can make decisions for themselves?
They can. And let me give you an example of this. So I have been in business for about 4.5 years, and I have a Facebook page that has a lot of likes on it, 1,700 something likes. I posted something about a year ago, and what I posted was, if your entire Facebook marketing consists of click like if, then you really need to work on your marketing. Like, that's just lazy. Oh, crud. Somebody else is trying to chat, and I don't know if you can grab it. Not in the window. Okay, thank you.
I got it.
So a couple of people responded and said, what? I like it when people tell me what to do. And then there were other people who were like, amen, Tracy, and that kind of enthusiasm. But the couple of people who responded with the first thing, I like it when people tell me what to do. I went back and said, no, let me explain. There was this page, and every single post started with click like if. And so I was trying to explain myself. Well, and I thought I did an okay job. And then somebody else came in and said, or one of the girls came back and said, no, nay. Oh, oops, did I just do that out loud? Anyway, and so if I had responded to that, I would have looked argumentative and like a bully even. And so I waited a little bit. And then a magical thing happened. Someone from my tribe, one of my raving fans, joined in the conversation and said, I think what Tracy is really trying to say is this. And he summed it all up and wrapped it up with a bow and made me look amazing and honestly kind of resolved the whole conversation so that everyone felt great about all of their conversations. So that's part of what can happen when you create a tribe. And the other thing is, when you remember that secret we told you earlier, you don't have to be online all the time. So when you have a tribe, the tribe can come to your rescue when you're not there. So, for example, if you're having a Google Hangout and you post about it on Facebook, your tribe comes to your rescue and says, Tracy, is that event tonight at 9 p.m.? And I'm like, oh gosh, no. Or they say, hey, Tracy, I thought you were having a meeting today. If I'm not online to see that right this second, but someone in my tribe can answer that, it makes me look amazing, it answers the question, and tribes are awesome.
So to elaborate on the tribe element, one thing to remember, like Tracy said earlier, is social media is more like a crock pot than it is a grill or any other form of cooking. It takes time to build your tribe. People want to have that relationship. They want to engage with you, but at the same time, it's not going to happen overnight. Tracy also mentioned the whole like concept. And it's not that there's anything wrong with like, but understand the tools for what the tools are meant to be used for. A great example of how to use the like feature on Facebook is, let's say you have a product-based business and you are considering developing a new product. Before you go through the time and investment of actually creating the product to see if your clients would like it, you could create a mock-up of it and post it and ask your fans to like it if it is something they would be interested in. So let's say you're a fashion company and you've created a new line of pants. Before you go through production, you want to know if this is something of interest to your audience. So you could post the photos of these pants and say, would you buy these? If we get X number of likes, we will go through with production. That's how you can use the like campaign in an effective manner. Now, remember, with marketing, you still need to drive results. You still need to get to an ultimate goal. So, with that in mind, what is your ultimate goal? What is your ultimate strategy? And this is something Tracy and I spend an awful lot of time in our Social Brilliance Impact program. The first week, it's social media is not marketing. It's not meant to replace your marketing. It's meant to be done in addition to. It's supposed to be done with, in tandem. So it complements your current marketing efforts. And that's where social media becomes of value to you. What is your ultimate goal? If getting likes will tell you something about your business, something you should do moving forward, then likes are great. If comments are going to help you with your business in some way, shape, or form, then yes, you want to get comments. If you want to drive them to your website, then you'll have to give them a reason to leave the current social tool that they are using. Why would the user want to leave LinkedIn? Why would they want to leave YouTube, Twitter, or even Facebook to look at your website? Be diligent, be strategic, but remember the social element. If you've noticed, all of these 4 secrets that we're sharing with you, they're not meant to be individual standalone secrets. They're secrets that actually go together. They work well. They mesh well. When you apply one, whether you realize it or not, you're usually applying the concepts of the others as well. So remember, social media is meant to be social. Be strategic about your intent and take the time to include social media into your existing marketing. But by all means, do not get rid of your existing marketing. It's to complement.
Well, and back to that crock pot analogy.
Yes.
Don't try Facebook for a month and then say it doesn't work.
No.
And you see people do that all the time with traditional marketing. Well, we did some postcards, but now we're going to take the money out of the postcards and we're going to put it into an ad in this newspaper. Okay, wait, we're going to take that out. No, it all goes together and it all takes time. Just like relationships.
No way.
They take time. Shocker. Okay, we need to move on to the next secret. Mel?
Oh, yes, we do. The 5th and final secret that we are going to cover this evening is, when used correctly, hashtags make finding the needle in the haystack easy. That's amazing because think of hashtags as your metal detector. You can have this whole pile of hay, and in that hay is a single needle. You can sit there and leaf through each individual piece of hay until you find the piece of metal, or you can go get a metal detector and make the process a whole lot smoother, ideally one that has a magnet so the needle comes to you. That is what hashtags do. If you were to go to Twitter and you were to, in their search box on the top right section of the Twitter screen, and type in, we'll use Dorothy's example from earlier about finding meeting planners who are willing to hire her, try searching out speaking. And then in another browser window, do the exact same search, only put a hashtag before the word speaking, and compare the two results. What you'll notice is that the thread with the hashtag is more targeted, it's more specific, and it's more accurate to what you're looking for. Hashtags are your friend. I will tell you that anything more than 3 hashtags in a post on any social media platform is hashtag soup. Tracy says you can go up to 5, but I say 3. And I'm talking right now, so I get the win.
But, well, let me talk then. And I would just say, so I need to say something about Facebook and hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yes, you can use Facebook. You can use hashtags on Facebook. However, what most business pages have found is it is not helping with engagement, because a lot of Facebook users still don't understand what hashtags are all about. So, and you can't, they're not quite as searchable as they are on Twitter. So just, if you're going to start using hashtags on Facebook, just watch your analytics on the back end so you can tell if they're having effect or not. But I know 100% that hashtags on Twitter will make a difference for you. As soon as I started using hashtags around my business, my followership, I got more followers. And it's not always about followers. It helps me to find who to follow as well. But just kind of a side note about hashtags is just be a little more aware of them on Facebook. And in addition, we're going to tell you in a minute about Social Brilliance Impact. And in Social Brilliance Impact, we don't talk about Instagram, but just a note, if you use Instagram, Instagram is very heavy on hashtags, which is fine. It's perfect for that platform. However, if you're going to use hashtags like crazy on Instagram, do not share your posts to Facebook, because it's annoying, and most Facebook users don't get it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Take the screen back.
What?
I'm going to take the screen back so I can comment. You're right. This goes back to what we talked about earlier, the etiquette on the different social platforms. Yeah. And it's not that one way is right or wrong. It's understanding the tools for what they're meant to be used for. And there's wonderful tools out there. I personally use Hootsuite, and I highly, highly, highly recommend Hootsuite. Hootsuite and other tools out there allow you to do this as well. You can do this in Twitter, so you don't even need a separate tool to do this. But you can search for a particular hashtag, and you can follow that conversation. The great value in that is you can engage with people whether you follow them or not, whether they follow you or not. You're all talking about a particular topic that is of interest to both of you. It's highly specific and highly relevant to what you are specifically looking for. So, for example, and the challenge with hashtags is they're so broad, but they're so specific at the same time. For my business, I do a lot of branding work, so I may use the hashtag brand, I may use the hashtag branding, I may use hashtag it's a branding thing, which Tracy always picks on me for, because
I love that.
She'll ask me why I made a decision to do something, and then she's like, never mind, hashtag it's a branding thing. So we're talking about a topic or a conversation. To Dorothy's question earlier, hashtag event pro is a very common hashtag that event professionals or meeting planners use. If you play around in the search element, whether it be through Hootsuite or Twitter or any of the other social platforms, you'll start to notice trends of what is being used for that conversation. And the reason there's multiple hashtags for the exact same thing is because they take up different characters. For example, Twitter only allows you to have 140 characters. By only having 140 characters, you're limited to what you can say. If you were to use hashtag event professional, that takes up a whole lot of those characters. So if you just do hashtag event pro or event prof, it still says the same thing. It sometimes will come up in other hashtag searches, but it still makes it relevant, but allows you to have more characters to communicate with. So it all depends on what conversation you are participating in to keep it relevant. And this is one thing we do spend a lot of time on when we do our Social Brilliance Impact program. That's a 5-week intensive, and each week that we spend on a particular tool, we talk about how to actually find information using that tool. So it's not just social media from content creation and content delivery. It's about how do you give back and how do you get what you need for your business and to help you grow your business.
Well, and if I can add one more thing about hashtags. So obviously sometimes hashtags are for comedy's sake. So I know that at times I've said hashtag funny, not funny. Okay, nobody's searching for that. But I think it's just important to note when it comes to your brand that there gets to be some confusion, because people will go, oh, well, your company is Ready, Set, Grow. Doesn't that mean you're hashtag Ready, Set, Grow? No, I am at Ready, Set, Grow. I talk about social media. I talk about other things. So I see people do this where somebody's like, hashtag Bob Buzz. I'm like, no, nobody's searching for Bob Buzz. And the only person talking about Bob Buzz is Bob, which means it's not Buzz at all, and it only makes you look foolish.
Now, in all fairness, maybe his mom is searching for him.
That could be. But just another note, I will put it out there. If you're not sure how to do this right, dare I say, go look at Mel's Twitter account and look at my Twitter account. I would venture to guess that her and I are doing it right when it comes to how to use hashtags. Just putting it out there. You might find something that's contrary to what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure we're doing it right.
And the only other thing that I would add to that is if you are using your social media presence primarily for business, stay away from the irrelevant hashtags such as hashtag selfie with no makeup. Yeah, don't do that.
Really? Yeah, no.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
So let's talk a little bit about Social Brilliance Impact, right?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, we've been talking about the 5 secrets, and obviously Mel and I could talk. We could fill up books with what we know about social media. Oh, wait, we have. Anyway, right, we've filled up books. You and I both have a book. And so what we've done is, I know for me, it pains me to see businesses struggle with social media because it isn't that hard. But I think as solopreneurs, as small businesses, we are wearing so many different hats. It's hard to see. And so we've created this program just for small business owners. It's called Social Brilliance Impact, and it's 5 weeks. It is quick and fast, and you're going to get great stuff. You get access to Mel and I. We have a private Facebook group. We have weekly webinars. But really, it's about making social media easy, getting you in front of the right customers, doing more online in less time, and helping you build that tribe. I mean, yeah, one of the secrets is building a tribe, but how in the world do you do that? And The other thing you're going to learn is how to make social media profitable. Social media should be something that is helping you grow your business, right?
No way, Tracy.
It's shocking.
So for those of you listening in, I just posted on the page and in the chat something that Tracy does not know about.
What?
Yes. This program normally retails for $247, and I am sharing with you. I created a discount. So if they register today, Tracy, they will get to enter Social Brilliance Impact for $197.
$197? That's awesome.
I know.
That was a good idea.
Thank you. I get those occasionally. So anyways, as Tracy was saying, Social Brilliance Impact is all about how to help you grow your business through social media. We're going to talk strategically about it and show you the tactical. We're going to help you understand the tools so you can know what tool is of relevance to you and where you should spend the majority of your time. Help you understand what you should and should not do on LinkedIn, what you should and should not do on YouTube, what you should and should not do on Facebook and Twitter, and how you have them work together. Because that's another big thing is, yes, you can broadcast